This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Keller's Garden Center and Landscaping Services. Are you still cutting your own grass? Are you still trying to get your landscaping to look perfect on your own? That sounds sweaty. That sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like a job for Keller's Garden Center and Landscaping Services. Family-owned and operated Keller's Garden Center and Landscaping Services, located on Kern Street in Exeter near Blue Ribbon Dairy, has the quality and experience to get your yard looking its best. The Garden Center offers plants, trees, sod, mulch, rocks, flowers, topsoil, grass seed, straw bales, and much more, while the Lawn and Landscaping Services offers mowing, trimming, planting, and full landscaping. Visit them on their social media pages for more info. Keller's Garden Center and Landscaping Services. Get your free estimate today. Welcome to the Popko Project podcast, a platform for the discussion and discovery of arts and entertainment. We focus on highlighting people and events that add value to the world around us. Visit us on all social media platforms by searching the Popko Project, or visit our website at thepopkoproject.com. Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for listening. Okay, we're live. No funny business.
I hit leave meeting. All right.
No funny business.
Oh, this is a serious business. This is the serious podcast.
This is the serious podcast with Johnny Popko.
I always thought that a podcast had to be like on an iPod.
Well, when I first started this, I was doing it via Zoom to capture the audio, and it also did the video. So I said, all right, well, in addition to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, all those places, let the people have what they want, the video. So here we are.
Our faces,
the handsomeness, that is.
Can you give us the history of a podcast? That would be a great way to start this.
No. Well, I'm joined by half of Nowhere Slow.
You are. The fun half, I suppose.
The fun half. I'm not sure. We started this podcast by trying to figure out a mole in the music scene. There's a mole amongst us in the music scene in NEPA.
A well-endowed mole.
Yes. She's been sending friend requests out. All of us got one. And I said, did you guys get this by chance? I see a lot of mutual friends that I have in the scene. And I asked you guys if you had one as well, or a friend request. And you said, yes, you had gotten one. And you left it you left her on red, I guess you could say, as the kids say. But yeah, I don't know. It seems funny. A lot of funny business here with this girl trying to infiltrate the scene here.
Yeah, and the whole podcast, we're going to figure out how to expose this person, right?
Expose the mole.
Yes.
I mean, there's just a lot of people. I'm not even going to say names. I don't want to out anybody because she's doing a very good job infiltrating the scene.
Yeah. How many mutual friends have you said?
I mean, it says 132.
At 150?
Yeah. I don't know.
Around the same. 123.
We'll give her initials. AP. Initials are AP.
We'd like to know whose uncle is behind this profile. That's what we'd like to know.
I can't even see what she's all about because she has her profile on lockdown, which I guess, would a bot have their profile on lockdown? Probably not.
Yeah, I guess not.
The bot would leave it open to anybody, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that's a story for another day.
Yeah, I mean,
we're here to talk about.
Needs to make profile pictures bigger to fit her appendages, but
yeah, she did a good job. She got half of her face and top half of her body. AP, good job.
Well done.
But gentlemen, Nowhere Slow. Ricky Gillette, Matt Kester, how are you?
Very well.
I'm doing just wonderful. Wonderful.
I said to Rick, I mean, you're going to have the best audio I've had from a guest in my entire time doing this. And is your camera moving too? Is this is it following you around? This is crazy. Wow.
It's this fancy new Apple display I got that has It's just the camera doesn't move. It just like has a wide angle and it follows you as you move. So it's pretty neat.
High tech. Wow, this is incredible. Maybe you should be running the Popko Project podcast.
My background's blurred, so you can't see my messy house.
Yeah, better mic, all the high end tech. Pastor, what do you have?
Well, you can't even show Rick that everything behind him is he's a label freak. So he has a label maker, and every one of those shelves behind him there is labeled with what's on the shelf because reading labels is really hard. But if you take something away at his house, you know exactly where to put it back. And if you really look the blurriness, there's not only a Nintendo Switch, there's an Oculus, there's there's a Nintendo what is it? An N64 back there?
Switch, a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, but there's like a vintage one back there too, I thought.
Oh yeah, I have all the vintage controllers that you can play the old games on the Switch.
Yeah. But underneath them are labels, so that if you move them,
how would I know that it is a Nintendo Switch if it wasn't labeled?
This is the bar that is built in Rick's basement. So, and I'm sure that everybody that listens to us today has a free open invite anytime they want. I'll send the address in the post.
Yeah, we'll put in the comments.
Yeah. Me, I'm in my garage, which is my multi-purpose room. There's, some gym equipment stuff, and then there's my desk there. So this is my multi-purpose room. I do not have the same audio quality Rick does, but I can change the color of my light. Oh, if you really want to get fancy.
See, I got the heavy hitters tonight. The great audio, the lighting and sound. Well, not tonight. Sounds terrible from Matt Kester, but the lighting. Look at that. Actually, you sound pretty good.
I didn't know I needed a microphone. I'm so sorry.
You sound pretty good. You sound pretty good. All things considered.
I do have a more expensive iPad than Rick Gillette. He has. But he's probably on a $5,000 computer right now. So
I am on an obnoxiously expensive computer.
That nowhere slow money is good, huh?
I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't think I needed this. This was an expense that I probably didn't need.
Just write it off.
Every 5 minutes, I'm asking him to make me some sort of poster or logo or business card or something. So he needs that computer just for all my requests. So
got it. Yeah. So nowhere slow. You guys have been at the music for a long time. I feel like, you're a staple in NEPA. You're a staple in the Scranton Parade Day. I feel like you might even be a staple at Secrets in Ocean City.
We're there quite often. Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you guys been doing this for?
Well, like playing out and like making money doing it. Like I started it in high school. So it's been insanely long if you consider that. That would be like 98, which is crazy. I'm dating myself, obviously.
You're old.
But we started playing out in the clubs and like doing what we're doing now is probably like 05. So like 17 years. Maybe 04.
I feel like it's been longer than that.
Yeah, I think it was 04. We started playing like Hiles. I think that was like our first paid gigs were probably 03 because we were playing a lot of just free stuff. Just for kids.
Well, that makes sense then, because you guys started like right when I like turned 21 and entered the scene too. So we kind of came up together, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, I thought it was. Yeah, I guess it is as long as I thought it was. Wow.
Yeah,
is Johnny Popko younger than us?
I hope so.
Are we revealing ages on this thing?
Yeah, my 5 listeners are going to know how old we are.
I'm 38. I'm not allowed to tell you how old Rick is, but he's not younger than me. So
you're 38.
40.
I'm 38. Yeah.
Oh, see, I was still 39. So
I'm 40. So we got
so we're the same
gamut here. Yeah,
Rick's the old guy. Yeah,
I'm the old guy.
Turned 40. He now makes these crazy noises whenever we have to move equipment or pick things up, and it wasn't happening before he was 40. It was like the minute he turned 40. I'm like, Rick, can you hand me that cable?
The dad noises.
Yeah, think about how things have changed from when you entered the scene, all of us together, and now we're families and all that. Great things, but God damn it,
yeah,
it's tiring. So tired.
Now it just flies by, and thought I'd be 20 in my 20s forever.
Rick, do you have one child?
One, yes.
One.
I have
Okay.
a 3.5-year-old.
Okay, so your child's younger than mine.
Yep.
Mine's 4.5. I have one on the way. She'll be here in today's June 13th. It's actually the scheduled C-section is 4 weeks from today.
Oh, that's awesome. That's close.
It's real close. It's like I kind of vomit when I say it out loud because it's
right.
it's no more than 4 weeks, but it could be any time right now.
Right. Of course, yeah.
So I have to like limit my drinking because God forbid, like wake up in the middle of the night and she's like, we're going to the hospital and I can't be drunk.
You can call an Uber. It's a story for
Rick's banned from Uber. He has to call Lyft, but we won't tell.
I am banned from Uber.
Did you get a 1-star rating?
I know. God, that's the story I probably should tell. Because I don't get banned from many things, but I got banned from Uber for trying to help a friend out.
Oh wow, you gotta tell a story. I mean,
yeah, geez. I will. We were out at a bar, obviously, and my friend Ubered home, and she called my wife and I when she got home in a panic because she said that the Uber driver tried to make out with her. So I was obviously like raging, and just something popped in my head to say like, hey, you know what? We left the V spot, and I was like, I'm just going to request a ride home from the V spot or to the V spot from my house now to see, because she had remembered his name, but you can't on Uber, you can't see their number. And,
he took the law into his own hands here, is what he said.
Goddamn outlaw.
And he sure shit, he came up as are we allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, it's the internet.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if
get naked if you want to.
Oh, cool. Right.
OnlyFans, whatever.
Well. But he came up, like the name came up. So I literally like requested the ride, and then I called him and like confronted him about this. You know what I mean? And kind of just let it go. And I said, you know what, in the morning, like I confronted him and he just kind of hung up on me, whatever. And I said, you know what, in the morning, I'll just call Uber, or I'll have, my friend call Uber or whatever. And in the morning, I woke up to an email saying that I was, that he had already called Uber to complain about me calling him or whatever from the app. And then I ended up getting like a call from Uber, and they're like, can you tell us the story? And they seem really nice about it. And all of a sudden they just banned me.
Nothing was funny though. Then we were on our way to Secrets to Play that day, and the Uber callback was in the car, and we all got to listen to him on the phone defending himself to Uber. It was hilarious.
But apparently, I violated the terms of service by using the app to, contact someone, which I get. I mean, I probably wouldn't have done it if it wasn't 2 a.m. But that way. But anyway, yeah. So I'm banned for life.
So what you should have done is you should have requested him as a driver. Then got into the car.
Yes.
And then lit a cigar in the back seat and be like, sir, we have some business to discuss.
Yes. That probably would have been a better going about it.
And then you choke him out from behind.
Yeah. Then I would have been banned from Uber and in jail.
Yes. Well, what the hell?
Yeah, he's not.
So anyway, I'm a Lyft guy all the way now.
This podcast is brought to you by Lyft.
He's not banned because he possibly threatened the driver. He's banned because he got the ride with no intention of getting the ride and canceled the ride. Like, they didn't really care about the driver, right? They just cared that he
probably
violated the terms of service. Yeah.
That's funny. I'm sure you guys, over the years, what did you discuss? It's 20 years? 20?
Yeah, I mean, it's
20 whatever years. You probably had some good stories over the years, huh?
Oh, plenty of good stories.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, what keeps you at it for all these years? I mean, we're not getting younger. Ricky, I mean, do you work out to stay in shape for these shows? Like, what's going on? What are you guys doing?
I work out, but not as often as I would like to with the kid. But yeah, I mean, playing definitely feels like it keeps me younger. Something keeps you energized, keeps you going. I don't know that I ever thought we'd still be doing it this late or whatever, but we're still enjoying ourselves, and it's just we keep what we do as the band keeps kind of evolving. You know what I'm saying? And we went from playing clubs around Scranton, and then we started traveling a ton, and now we have like a residency gig at Woodlock that's really fun, and it's kind of like a new it's a new creative output for us because it's like it's a structured 1-hour show that has all these theatrics to it, and so just things keep changing, and we just enjoy each other. I think we get along really well. So that's what's really kept us going, is that it's really been the same four guys for all these years, and I'm pretty proud of that. I don't know, we were able to stick together and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. We're still just kind of having fun.
There's a lot to be said about keeping the same core. Because like, I think you started out as a cover band, and correct me if I'm wrong, you started as a cover band, but you've also done original music. I think you have like 3 or 4 albums out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But now primarily you're pretty strictly just cover songs.
Yeah. And it's not intentional, to be honest with you. We still I still have 30,000 songs on my phone, and John writes a bunch of songs, and we keep threatening for years to get back in the studio and do something, and life gets in the way. And, the job part of being a cover band gets in the way, and you get tired and you're like, last thing I want to do right now is go try to write a song or go to the studio. We just played, 4 shows in a row or something. And so, it's more just life getting in the way that we still do want to do that. But
how long has it been since the last original tune?
12 years.
12 years.
Last album, I should say. Yeah. 12 years.
So you guys should just wait till
me.
At least wait till 15 or 20, and then you just do this whole 20-year nowhere slow new music,
and just re-record all the old albums that sound.
That's what I want to do. I want. He knows what I want to do. I want to right now do an album and re-record now, like as we've matured as musicians in a group, the 10 or 12 of our favorite songs, or maybe even 8 of them, and then 3 or 4 new ones. But just like pick the favorite ones, that, and re-record them as not 19-year-old kids or 23-year-old kids or whatever the heck it was, but re-record them now. And but we do a lot of fun shows. I mean, sometimes a couple of the songs you play kill you a little bit inside, but seeing people react to them, that's the fun part, right? And you can kind of get lost in it, even though maybe you're not playing your favorite song, but to somebody else who had 9 or 10, pain in the asses from Secrets. If you've been there, you know what that is. Mm-hmm. And right then in that moment, it's their favorite song. So it kind of becomes yours too, so.
And if you were to re-record the songs, would you also, change the lyrics, or would you just change the song to kind of fit like today's sound?
It's funny you say that, because that is things that I've gone through, and just because it was 12 years ago, it's like I wouldn't have wrote that now, just being an older gentleman. Like a lot of those lyrics were about chasing girls and stuff, and now I'm married, so it would be a little odd to but at the same token, I think I would probably, for the most part, try to keep the lyrics intact, because that's how it was written. It was written by a 20-year-old kid, and then that's how we'd probably do it. It's just the quality of our recordings was never something that we got where we wanted. And I think that Matt's idea is a good idea, because I'd love to revisit those songs and just get, the quality up and to a modern standard of quality, because obviously everything's gotten better. And that's kind of why I have this microphone that you're talking about, because I wanted to be able to try to do it myself, but I only got so far as to sound decent on podcasts.
Gotcha. So do you do producing too?
I mean, I'm just dabbling in it. I know nothing. I'm doing, for these Woodlock shows that I was just talking to you about, it's a full production where I have to edit audio and stuff like that, but it's so minor that I'm just still learning. I'm trying, I'm doing demos on Logic and all that, but by no means could I ever mix something, probably record well and send things off to a mixer and a master, to do something like that. So, I mean, there's so much you can do at home now, which is awesome. Aside from drums are, we'd have to take Kester to a studio to kind of do those tracks, but everything else you can kind of do in house now. It's great.
Right. And I mean, I imagine now that you kind of focus on the covers, and you're playing probably, these residencies, and you're going to Secrets, and you're traveling out of town, and I'm sure the money's pretty decent. It's probably a lucrative, it goes from, hey, we're just in a band, we're going to fart around and play these songs, to, well, now I have a full-time job, I have a full-time family. If I'm going to play, I need to make it count.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and that's also, again, what's kept us going. It's definitely, I'm not like bragging or anything like that, but we've gotten to a point where we're making good money for doing it. So it is great. Yeah. Obviously, like, weddings are a lot of work, but you get paid well for weddings, and Woodlock is a great thing. Secrets is a great thing. All the gigs that we have, are they're lucrative gigs, which is great, you know.
But I mean, you put your time in. It's not like you're like, we're just going to be this cover band and hit the scene and ask for a bunch of money.
Yeah, we invest a ton into the band. Like, I mean, our setup is we invest tons of money into that. Where me and Matt are now talking about adding a video element to every show that we do. So we'll have like just visuals, like whether it be an LED screen or TVs or stuff like that. So I mean, like we're always adding to it, to take it to the next level or whatever.
I feel like you have to at this point in time. You guys know this, and I don't go out as much as I used to just because of the things we mentioned, families, kids, all that kind of stuff. But you almost have to, it's hard to get people to get out to come to a show in general. So it's like you need to really give them a reason to. I mean, is that why you've kind of, gravitated towards that full production?
Yeah, I think it's both. It's like it's exciting for us and them. So yeah, I mean, how like you said, we've been around for so long. Like, how many people? Like, I'm surprised we still get the crowds that we do. Like, I'm thankful, super thankful for it. But we've been learning a ton of new material. So that helps a lot with our sanity and hopefully the crowd sanity. Although sometimes you learn a ton of new songs and they just want to hear the song you've been playing for 20 years.
Yep, they just want to hear. Josie's on a vacation far away.
yes. And that's what they all say the name of that song is too.
Yeah, Mr. Brightside. What else? Yeah. What are some of the hits?
Mr. Brightside always kills. Sugar We're Going Down always kills.
Semi-Charmed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sugar We're Going Down. That is Fall Out Boy, correct?
Yes.
Funny story. Funny story. You guys know the gentleman in Lesson 1, right?
Oh yeah, with the singer.
Oh my God, yeah.
Anyway, particularly, I'm talking about probably Steve Houston and Kevin Callahan in particular. I remember I was in college. It was 2005, and I think that's when not their first record, but like kind of the record that put them like on the next level. I think that was 2005.
Yeah, it was like From Under the Cork Tree or whatever.
Yeah. And I was like, guys, you gotta listen to this band. These songs are great. And Kevin and Steve, I remember we were at Eddie's Diner in Plains there, near where the casino is, and they laughed at me. They're like, "Oh, this is you like this poppy bullshit shit." And next thing you know, they're fucking playing the songs out at the bars. I'm like, funny. Yes, I told you, I told you.
I loved their first album and their second album.
They're all decent. I mean, they're all I don't think there was a bad album by those guys.
No, yeah.
But I've seen Kevin do one of the most rock and roll things I've ever seen in my entire life. I mixed sound for Lesson 1 we went all been down the East Coast one time with them, and they did a show at Tinks with Hour After, and Kevin jumped off the sub, hit his head on the speaker above him.
Yes.
And I've never seen so much blood pour, and it was during the first song. I never seen so much blood pouring down his face. And then he fell down. He got back up, blood all over his shirt, guitar, and everything, and he finished the song. So, I mean, good judge of a band, maybe not, but rock and roll, yes, for sure.
Yeah, Kevin used to do this like wild guitar, like sling. I used to live right above Kevin for many years. Yeah, it was. I think I got to that show late, and I think I got to that show as he was like coming off the stage to go to the hospital to get stitches.
Yeah. That was it. It was like he finished the song, and then Steve just went in the microphone. No, it wasn't Steve. It was Jakan that went in the microphone. He's like, "Hey, thanks for listening to that song. We're Lesson 1. We're going to go to the hospital now." And that was it. They went off the stage, and then band's turn. So
no one could fill in.
I mean, it was just, I think they were only going to play 5 or 6 songs anyway, and it was just a freak thing, and who knows? Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like the scene we have today, there are so many guys that are in so many bands that if you were at a show, or I don't know if they had a showcase, like maybe it was a few different bands, I bet you today, if that happened, that guy would have gone to the hospital, and some other guy would have jumped in and finished the set.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty rock star. That's not the first time Kevin's hurt himself. There's a lot of funny stories about Tinks.
I mean, I've seen Rick Gillette. We do this show at Woodlock every week,
man.
And if there was a way for me to show this video, I would. But we play the show at Woodlock every single week. And we play the song Johnny Be Good, which it's kind of got a real ironic thing going on in it where John Canjar is playing the lead, but Rick does a knee slide. So he takes a run from one part of the room and slides on his knees. So we started playing the first show of this last, we play every year we switch over to a new show. So we played Songs from the Movies was the last one. And it was the first show and Rick ran to do the knee slide and the floor just gripped his knees like his pants and flipped him over onto his back. And the look, I made eye contact with him, like the look of sheer terror on his face. And then as he got up, it was like, he just runs up on stage and he's like, the floor was so sticky, like digging. But it was
like sandpaper.
Sandpaper, he called it. Yeah, he said the floor's like sandpaper. He yells, and it was pretty something. But I've seen Rick Gillette take a couple tumbles, you know.
Well, speaking of Sugar, we're going down. We were playing a parade day at Tinks with Drop Dead Sexy. It was us, Drop Dead Sexy, back and forth all day. And it was they ended the night, so it was their last set, and I was getting a little bit feeling pretty good. And I played Sugar, We're Going Down with them because at that time we actually didn't even play that song. So I just sang it with them. And I was like, you know what? There's a sea of people out there. I'm going to stage dive. No one caught me.
Yeah.
Not a single person caught me.
I have another Sugar We're Going Down story. We were at Secrets this past summer that just went, and Will had just got a new bass. I mean, it was beautiful. He's been playing the same bass for 15 years.
Yeah.
He just got a new bass.
Brand new $3,000 bass. Yep.
$3,000 bass. And he takes it and he slings it around so it like flies around his whole body and he catches it. Like that's like at that last note, like there's the big note. And right before the big note, he swings it around and catches it. Right. And we were all having a good time and we didn't even know that anything happened. We had no idea. So he swung the bass and the strap let go and it went flying into the crowd. And he went and got it and everything. And then he told us about it. We're laughing. Haha. The bass was fine, by the way. And then we're like driving home and the Secrets, somebody sent us a little video and said, hey, maybe don't throw your guitars at the crowd next time. And just his expression was amazing. So, but that song.
He bought a $3,000 bass, but an Amazon guitar strap. That was $3, and it didn't hold. It did not hold.
Gotta save that money where you can.
Yeah.
Man, I imagine like this day and age, you have to be worried about that kind of stuff too. Like,
well, that's why the manager had sent it to us. The manager on there is great. Is really cool. But the reason is because I guess someone complained, and no one complained at the time because it actually didn't even really hit anybody. But you know, people. Someone wanted to see if they can get something out of this. Yeah. And so that was the reason that it was even looked at, because it wasn't really that big of a deal. It didn't really, luckily, it didn't really, harm anyone or do anything. It went off to the side. And there is people that stand on the side of that particular stage, but it happened to miss them all and just hit the bar. But yeah.
What's it like playing Secrets? I mean, is that multiple times a summer every year for you guys, or?
Yeah, I mean, we were doing it year round. We just recently decided to halt doing the year round thing. We're just gonna kind of keep it a summer thing now. As we're getting older, we're kind of nitpicking what we want to do or how often we want to go down. But it's great because any vacation area is awesome because people are they're looking to have a good time, so they're already in a good mood, and it's really it's crazy crowds. It feels amazing. But I mean, you can just feel the body heat from the people. I mean, it's just it's a whirlwind. It's cool.
Do you guys know that I don't know his name? The Ferrari guy.
The Ferrari guy.
Yeah, he the dancing guy. Like he goes around Ocean City and like dances around.
I have heard of that. I don't think I've ever seen that though.
He's got a name. I have pictures.
I
of my
know what
wife.
you're talking about, but I don't.
I have pictures of my wife.
No, I think you're mistaken. I think he drives a Jeep and his name is Jimmy McGrath.
No, it's definitely not that guy. Well done, though. Well done. Oh man, the funny thing is, I was in Disney back in April, and I saw him walking through Disney. I could not believe my eyes.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
I could not. I haven't been to Ocean City since 2013. That was my last time there. I'm trying to find the post.
But the funny thing with us, like what you're asking about Ferrari guys, like literally, like we'll drive down there, load in, and sometimes we'll play and just leave and get home at 6 a.m. Or they give us a condo, so sometimes we'll stay, but we don't see anything. We literally just
we're like hermits. We're hermits.
Like we see secrets and maybe sometimes the subway next to it, our condo, but we just go down, play, sleep at the condo, get up and leave. So like we're not like randomly they'll put us on a double weekend and then we'll kind of hang out and walk around the town, but like where we'll play a Friday night and a Saturday night, but that's kind of rare.
Yeah.
We've never walked around the town. We just go back to secrets.
I did once. I went and saw when we had a Friday, Saturday show, I went and saw that Solo movie. That's how long ago the last probably double was.
Oh, you partied hard.
The Star Wars movie. Oh yeah.
Hard that day.
I saw the cinema as well, which was really nasty. And like there was no incline to it. It was like we were all just sitting on a floor together.
Yeah. And it's because it's an adult cinema during the week. He just didn't know that.
It was sticky.
He tried to neat get there.
Did you guys go out when you were younger? Like, is this just an old age thing or what?
No, I think it was with secrets. It was kind of always like that. Like we party with like, you know, in the condo, but you play. So there's not really any time to do anything else. And then like we used to do the day shows. Sometimes it'd be like a 1 to 5. And then we normally would just come back home.
I found it. Eddie Maserati.
So it's Maserati guy? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess so. I just remember him having like these like almost like a driver's shirt. Yeah, so he's big down in Ocean City, Maryland, and I don't know if he, switched locations, but I'm sitting on this bench. I have my kid next to me, and my wife and my mother are like in line at a getting food or whatever. And I saw him walk by me, and I could not believe my eyes. I'm like, there's no way that this guy is in Florida. And I was so badly wanted to like run and catch him. He was walking pretty fast, and I wanted to catch him and be like, get a picture with him, because he was all into taking pictures with you when he was in Ocean City.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he probably would have, but like I had my kid with me. He's got like his hands full like ice cream or some shit. And like I said, my wife and my mother were across the way, and I'm like, shit, I can't believe I'm going to miss capturing this. No one's going to believe me.
Yeah. I just Googled it. I definitely did not know him before, but the first thing that Googles is him dancing in Disney Springs. So yeah, maybe he moved.
Disney Springs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, back in 2013, I started going to Ocean City, Maryland, like with my wife at the time, girlfriend, 2008. So we went every year, 08, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 6 years in a row. He was there every year.
Yeah, it must be his shtick.
I can't believe you guys don't know.
I've seen the pictures. I want to meet him.
He's got a fantastic wardrobe.
Yes.
Yeah, Disney Springs. Yeah, that's where I saw him.
It's fantastic. He's doing what he wants to do in life.
I remember seeing articles written about that guy. Like, yeah, I mean, I think his wife passed away, and he just started like, I don't know, like just traveling around and going to clubs and dancing around.
Well, all right then.
Hell of a life.
We used to have a guy back at the Tinks days that would, if he saw that we were playing, he would come in, and because we would always let him on stage, I don't know if the other bands didn't, he would go home and change into a 3-piece suit and come back so that he could get on stage and just dance in the corner while we were playing. I think his name was Robert, and he would always stand on Will's side. So Will knew Robert very well. But yes, he would walk in and immediately go home and change into a 3-piece suit. I don't know why he had to have a 3-piece suit on, but I think he thought the ladies would like that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got to shoot your shot, right?
Yeah.
But you guys, like I said earlier in the show, like you guys are a staple in this area. Like, what was it like? I mean, people saw that you were playing at Tinks or Hiles or wherever it may have been, and they would make it a point like, oh, we got to go to Tinks or Hiles or whatever to see Nowhere Slow. What was that like? Being, pretty young, obviously, being in a successful party band and a lot of, a band that was a lot of fun and people, really enjoyed it. What was that like?
Well, their $5 is why we're still here today. So thank you.
Yes, it is.
Your $5 kept it going. And then now we could be on the Popko podcast today. So
you made it. Yes, you made it.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, that was the, it felt great. And I think that looking back, it's when you're in, like when we were in it at the time, like when we were pretty popular around the area, like it didn't feel, you always feel, I mean, at least I didn't feel like that it was like that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like but then looking back, I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool. Like we were drawing pretty big crowds and stuff. Like that was neat,
Yeah.
And then basically, I mean, that's why we ended up starting to travel was, that always is going to wean out for any band. As our fan base got older, they started having kids, whatever. So that's kind of where our traveling started happening. And it kind of all worked out for us because we traveled everywhere for so long. And now it's kind of like a resurgence back where we're drawing decent crowds around again because all of our, we're definitely attracting younger people to come out too, which is great. But like even our older fans that have kids now, their kids are just a little bit older that they can get babysitters. So they come out and it's cool. It kind of all came full circle,
Yeah, it was really weird too because I left the band for a few years and Tommy Winder came in. All right, but yeah, he came in and we weren't traveling when I left.
Yeah,
and then I came back and the first gig was it like in Key West, and I'm like, what happened to this band? Like, what happened to this band? I guess, Rick just, he stopped wooing all the ladies in Scranton, I guess. And he locked himself down and now we have to go other places, because everybody realizes he's taken, I guess, or something. I don't really know what it is, but, yeah, I came back to all this travel. And at first I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. And then, I got used to it after a bit and now it's kind of like second nature. And now, recently, I think we're all kind of getting on the same page with just like what Rick said, like we're getting enough good work back here, or within an hour or two of here that we don't have to go do some of these, crazy 2-3 day overnighters and things like that. Cause some of those travel gigs, they're not all what you think they are, like you have to stay there for 2-3 days just to make the gig worth it. If you're just driving out there one day, playing a show and coming back with the expenses, especially now with gas and everything, you're not making enough to make the one day worth it. So you have to do a few days. And, with all of us having jobs and families and stuff, it's getting harder. So, I think right now there's a real good balance though.
Yeah. And Matt, forgive me. Do you have kids?
3 stepkids. Yep.
Okay. Still, things you have to look after, right?
Oh yeah.
And consider.
Yeah, they've been living with me for 8 years. So, they're getting older now too. A couple more years and we'll be able to leave them on their own, they laugh at me because I tell them as soon as, one's turning 16, as soon as they're going to be 18, all they're getting is a van, it'll run. They can put whatever they need to from the house in it and a half tank of gas and they're on their own. But,
well, and what's it like, being a band that travels and having families like that? Like, what's that dynamic like?
It was easy for me when I didn't have a kid, obviously.
Right.
Very easy. It was never a bother, whatever. And then like John was the first to have kids, and I knew it was a little bit difficult for him, but luckily his wife is a teacher, so it was a pretty, like, we would normally only travel for at least these overnighters, these like multiple night shows when we were traveling in the summer. So that worked out decent for him. But yeah, now it's just a lot harder to be gone. Like Matt mentioned Key West, like that gig alone, we used to fly sometimes. And when we would fly, we'd be gone for 9 days. And then we started driving because our equipment got so
expensive.
Yeah, well, it's just like all the equipment that we accumulated, we wanted to have if we're going to play 7 nights. We didn't want to like fly down and use their amps and stuff like that. So we started driving. So now you're gone for 11 days, like, to do that gig, and it's just a little bit too much,
Yeah, it's funny how you just have to really. It's great that you guys kept going too. It's like you have a passion, you have a supportive family that you can still do these other outside the area trips, but it's definitely not easy.
No,
I'm
it's not.
I'm trying to figure out how to just keep doing this 1 or 2 nights a week when I have the new one.
Yep.
Let alone
it's
have to
not.
travel to different states.
And let alone the family. I mean, being cooped up with guys in the car all the time too. I mean, like it's not easy,
Kester's not fun to be around.
He's
Rick,
wonderful to be around.
I'm fun. Rick, don't
he
you
snores
think
very loudly.
If Popko like wanted a night off, like look, we got the same sort of beard.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
just jump in there and just nobody would know the difference.
Yep.
So, no, we have a really cool. I honestly like. We have a really cool dynamic in the band. Everybody respects each other. We don't really argue like really over anything. We'll disagree. We don't really argue or anything like that. The car rides are kind of a pleasure because everybody kind of knows. Like we get in the car, everybody kind of chit chats and makes fun of. There's a handful of people that we won't tell you who they are that we goof on, and we'll get maybe 15, 20 minutes worth. Then everybody kind of puts their AirPods in. Now, the only thing is...
and then there's no talking.
There's no talking. There's a real important rule in Nowhere Slow. You will get made fun of and called poor if you don't have the latest Apple products.
I started that.
So yeah, Rick started that. And Rick always has like the beta, like he signs up for like the beta, whatever. He'll be like, oh, I have an iPhone 25. I'll be like, there's only a 13 out. And he'll be like, yeah, you're poor. That's...
And Will, our bass player who does extremely well for himself as a real estate and all that, he bought his first AirPods and he's like, yeah, I ordered them. I got them on Walmart. They were like $10 off. I'm like, all right. And he's like a third-party seller. Yeah. And he got an email from them like a week later saying, sorry, these are delayed. They are hot sell. And I'm like, dude, you did not get AirPods. There's no way those are real. And then finally they came in the mail and he showed them to me. He's like, they're real. And there was like there was a glowing blue light. I'm like, dude, there's no blue light on the AirPods. And he's like, yeah. So he waited like 4 weeks to get fake AirPods to save $10.
Yeah. So like sometimes when we have subs with us, like, cause we'll have, we everybody in the band kind of has a sub, except for Rick, obviously. But like if we have subs with us and it until you sub with us a few times, it might be awkward. You don't know like when you should talk or when you shouldn't. Because like we have like it's a routine, it's an unspoken routine. It's like get in the car, everybody catch up on everything, and then if somebody's driving and they want to talk, you talk to them. If not, everybody just kind of puts their earbuds in or goes to sleep or whatever, and that's usually the hierarchy is Will usually drives to the place because we're always pushing for time, and he does 250 miles an hour. And then Rick usually drives back when it's late night because the dude never goes to bed. His schedule is the opposite of everybody else's in the world. And then I pick up the any of the mid shifts or anything like that. But yeah, we have a really good established hierarchy, and I think that there's only really two rules in the band. I think one is you don't mess with each other when you're sleeping. We've always kind of had that. Like, we have to wake each other up, but you don't draw dicks on their face or anything like that. and then the other one is like, if someone leaves their phone out, and this is kind of an unspoken one, but if someone leaves their phone out, it's only okay to post on Facebook, but you can't do anything else to their phone.
Well, no, I've changed some wallpapers to hairy butts and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, Rick has a whole assortment of hairy butts in his photo reel. I don't know where they're not photos you find on the internet. I don't know where he took them, but he whole slew of hairy butts on his phone.
And what do you do with those?
I just changed the wallpaper of anyone that leaves their phone open to a hairy male butt.
Yeah, we're 8-year-old kids. That's really all that we are. Yeah.
Well, did we ever really grow up? I mean, women they bust on us for like wanting to hang out with our friends, and we need that release. Like, we go, we drink beers, we do these kind of things, and we talk about things that we can't talk about with our wives. Nothing bad, but it's just like we like to talk about, farts.
Yeah,
and hairy butts.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't really drink beer though either. We drink White Claw 70.
Well, you and I do. And then they discontinued it.
What is it?
Diet White Claw.
Diet White Claw.
Is that
we're not even manly enough to drink the regular White Claw. We had to get the diet. Yeah, all summer long they had these White Claw 70s, and I wanted to try it because like I'm a girly drinker. I don't, I'm not into like IPAs or anything like that. And I like all the fruity stuff. And I just bought those one day and I'm like, man, I like these even better because it doesn't taste all sugary like a White Claw did. Like it was just like a crisp, nice drink. And I showed it to Matt and he fell in love with
Love
them.
it. I love them.
Yeah. And then we were buying them like by the case, like bringing them on trips with us. And then all of a sudden they just discontinued them. So I think me and Matt were the only ones buying them.
We were the only two buying them. Yeah. So if anybody knows where to get some White Claw 70s, the 6 people that watch this, please let us
Now
know.
it's six. Okay, LT for Astro. We got to get those guys. What's going on? LT for Astro.
Seriously.
What's up with the White Claw 70? I never even heard of it before. Never heard of it.
Now I tried Susquehanna Brewing Company's seltzer drink, and it is fantastic. So
it's so funny because we're seltzer drinkers, except for Will. Will drinks like beer that looks like...
Yeah, he's a beer dude.
Yeah, Will drinks like beer that you would mix with road tar or something. Like it's gross. Like I can't even imagine. Like it's just like gooey beer he drinks. But
John can go either way. John could do the light beers or the.
Yeah, John likes the Irish stuff. You know what I mean? So he could do like a porter or something or whatever, and there Guinness or whatever. But then he'll drink the Miller Lite. Will drink nothing if it's just Miller Lite. Like if we just have a cooler full of Miller Lite, he'll just drink nothing. But the White Claw, and then we get shots of whiskey. It's so weird. Like people will be like, "You want a White Claw?" We're like, "Yeah, and a shot of Jack, please." It's the hangovers are way more intense now. So,
Yeah, I was actually last Friday. I went my neighbor down the street, 11 o'clock. He says, "Hey, I'm having a beer. If you want to stop over." And I'm like, God damn, it's really late. It's like I'm watching the Celtics game and it's late, but like we coach our son's T-ball team. So we had T-ball in the morning and he's like, I got my other kids like 3-hour clinic at the field and blah, blah, blah. Just stop over for a beer. I'll put the game on for you. Went over and it goes from 11 to 2 a.m. real quick. And I woke up the next day and I was like dog shit all day long. I had kids T-ball game at 10 a.m.
Oh, no.
Then I had what I have in the afternoon. I forget what I had in the middle of the day. But then I had a kid's birthday party after that. And this kid's birthday party was the craziest party I've ever seen so far as a parent. And I didn't know this at the time. I thought it was just my kid's friend from school. I thought it was just her party, but it turns out they have 3 kids. All their birthdays are around the same time of year. So they just had this huge big bash. So it's 3 kids, everyone's friends and family, and there's a bounce house. And I called it Anxiety Grove because there was like 20 kids bouncing at the same time. There's balls flying. I'm like, my kid's going to get hit in the face. It's going to be bad news. But I got to the party and it was like 5:30. I'm still hanging. I'm like, I got to have a beer just to kind of even out. And it actually worked.
Yeah, it does.
That's not a myth. That works.
It's hard to get that one down, but it does work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's been a while since I've been hungover. I don't even know why. I mean, I wasn't like, getting crazy, but
yeah, I can't do it either. I agree. Like I still drink quite a bit, but I can't get drunk and have a hangover. It's more just like I don't know.
It's not worth it.
It's just it's the 3-day ordeal now if it has to happen. And I just got back from a wedding out in Williamsport and I'm surprised I'm not. We stayed up pretty late, but I feel all right. So I think it's a shot thing. I can't do those.
Yeah, I didn't do shots.
As long as because you do bombs and Fireball, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't drink whiskey. Like he drinks, he drinks sugary drinks. Like and then he drinks sugary shots. So of course you're gonna have a hangover. I mean,
yeah, but I feel pretty good. I'm surprised.
There you go. The years of training.
Yes. You gotta train your body to take the beating.
How have you guys seen your shows? Like, as far as, we just got through a pandemic. This younger generation kind of seems to not go out as much as we used to when we were of age. Turned 21. What have you seen in your years of playing out, as far as like crowds go?
Yeah, it seems to be okay now. Obviously we can't play as often around here because you're right. There's not an abundance of people to go around to pack different places. So that's kind of why we, just kind of pick and choose where we're going to play around here. Like we try to keep our Scranton place the V spot. So we only play there. And that helps with, creating a good night for that place. And you're not overstretching your shows and just doing it too much to where no one wants to come because they could have saw you last week or the week before. But again, because we have these different types of gigs now, like we're in a great spot where everything's kind of works out. Like the residency has a built-in crowd, Secrets has a built-in crowd, and the V Spot is, we do that once every 3 months or whatever, everyone comes out because it's like our one local thing. And so for us, it's working out really great, but like you said, like how it used to be, we used to be able to play Hiles on a Monday, it'd be packed, play Tinks on Friday happy hour, and then a full show. It's like it could be packed every night of the week. Like our generation at least went out every night. It's crazy.
There was like I always say this, like every Monday was Hiles. Yep. Tuesday, I think like down my way at least was like Old Time Charlie's, and Wednesday was Somewhere, and Thursday was Whistles.
Yep.
And then Friday or Saturday was kind of like random. You just kind of figured something out, but
Hiles, Genner, Tanks, or
yeah. What a world!
We absolutely had a place for every night of the week. I mean,
I just don't think kids do that anymore.
They don't, and it's probably for the best.
Maybe they'll have
less alcohol.
Go out, but the thing is, like, go out, have a beer, smoke some cigarettes.
Live a little.
The thing is we don't play shows anymore for the kids that are of that age. We play shows for their parents. We only see those kids when their parents make them go, and then they have a great time.
That's true. He's right.
They do, like, because we play stuff for everybody. Like when somebody asks you, what do you guys play? And a band says everything. Like we have the most ADD, or is it ADHD, set list you'll ever see in your entire life. Like literally, no joke, we'll play Cyndi Lauper, and then it'll go right into Mr. Brightside. Then it'll go down to like Baba O'Reilly, Sugar We're Going Down Swinging, and then it'll go right back to Stand By Me, and then maybe like Garth Brooks, and people are just like you're looking at it like, what the hell? I just had so much fun, because like we hit something for everybody, like people are like, and then AC/DC right after that, or Ozzy, like it just, the set list is crazy, and we don't do it. Rick doesn't put it in such a way where everything's grouped together. It's spread out. So it just kind of goes like rock, country, oldies, Beatles, rock, you know what I mean? And so like at any given moment, you're going to hear something you like. So Post Malone, whatever. And that's kind of the way we do it. And, parents, keep bringing your 21-year-old and up kids out to see us, please, because we need to rebuild that.
Eventually you'll hear something,
Yeah.
we need Nowhere Slow for another 20 more years.
Yes, of course. That's the goal now, is to see how long we can actually do it and break that kind of record.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to. I mean, like, I'm sure there's a lot of bands out there that have been together for a long time. And even locally here, you had like Strawberry Jam has been around for 1,000 years.
Yep.
We will be the Poets. We will be just like the Poets.
I would love to know if we have the longest like continuous lineup would be what I would be curious about. I know there's been bands that definitely been around longer than us, but like you said, Matt left for what, 3 years?
For rehab?
3 or 4 years.
He left for rehab.
4 years.
He had an addiction to Tic Tacs and he had to go.
And Tacs were bad.
Yeah.
And how do you guys add to your catalog of like current music? Do you kind of keep your finger on the pulse of like what's on the top 40 and shit like that, or
not really? Because I
can't answer this. Look at this call I'm getting right now.
Ryan's calling.
I can answer it. All right.
We
Hello.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, buddy.
I'm on the Popko podcast right now. What can we help you with? You're on the Popko.
You're doing the podcast currently?
Currently, right now. Say Johnny and Rick. Say hello.
Hi, Ryan.
What's up, Ryan?
Rickalicious.
So can I call you back, or do you want to tell me what you're calling about on the call on the count?
You're out of your mind for answering in the first place, but since you did, yeah, I'm gonna call you because the world needs to know what I call you about.
Okay, go ahead.
So if I buy a punch out rack panel, right, like a knockout panel for the little adapter.
I'll call you right after we're done here. Goodbye.
I thought this was gonna be fun.
Me too.
I thought that was gonna be fun. Jesus.
I thought he was gonna be like, "Hey, the Butchery needs a drummer this weekend. Can you fill in or something? That's what a punch out rack panel. Okay.
Why couldn't he even just make something up? Like,
Yeah, like,
isn't he like a quick-witted person?
Yeah, apparently not this time.
Damn, I thought that was gonna be gold.
Me too. I thought he was going to be like, "Hey, we got your test results back." You know?
Oh God, we were talking about adding new
Oh
music.
yeah, but to be honest with you, like we've tried many times to like kind of like stay up with the top 40, and I promise you, they don't last. It's you know, people's attention spans obviously are much shorter these days, but their attention spans to like react to the newer songs seems to fly by too. Like we'll learn the brand new whatever top song, and like it seems to never keep like it'll work for the first 2 weeks. And then the crowds kind of just don't want to hear it after that. And, you know, a lot of the stuff is a lot of synth. We only have the 4 of us now. And we've been adding a way for Matt to basically have another job of playing keyboard parts live in real time on the drum pad. So we just take samples of each individual note and hit. And he's playing, like for our new Woodlock show, we have to do some Dua Lipa songs. And obviously those are very processed poppy songs. And he's able to now play those parts while he's drumming kind of thing. And so we have the ability to kind of make them sound legitimate and all that stuff, and we'll learn them. But again, like it's the stuff that always stays in our repertoire and that we continue to play is the stuff that works, obviously. And the stuff that continues to work is mostly the stuff from 2000 and back, rock stuff.
The tried and true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. I mean, we live in a world now where it's, the TikToks and music is, hot one day and then it's, gone the next. And when we were growing up, and even like our parents, like those songs played every day, 10 times a day, 2 months long, and you don't get that now.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's just so fast. The turnover is crazy.
Does that ever turn you guys off for creating new music just because of the way, it's like a lot of, singles and band releases, like they need to make every single like matter. It's every 6 weeks and they have to have a video component with it. Like, does that ever come to you guys and say, I really don't want to do that. Let's just keep doing what we're doing?
Me personally, it makes me more excited to want to get back to doing originals, because to me, it's like less daunting to think, well, we got to make a whole album and then we got to get it pressed as like a CD and then all that stuff. I'm like, now we can just record one song and just upload it that night. That to me is much more appealing, being a busy adult.
What the hell are you waiting for?
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why we keep telling ourselves that. And I think eventually we will. 2033, we will have a new song out.
God damn it.
It's crazy. I can't believe it's been 12 years. Like, that is mind blowing to me.
But that is a long time.
It's crazy.
2010.
Yep. 2010.
Wow. The years fly by.
It's unbelievable.
Well, you mentioned the V Spot earlier. Great place, great venue in Scranton. They sponsor a little a thing called Take a Shot that I created for them. A little play on words. You can take shots at the V Spot responsibly, of course. But I encourage listeners and fans of you guys and the podcast to take a shot and ask their questions, and maybe we'll ask them on the show. And I do have 2 questions.
Sure.
One's from Vinny. I don't know what the question is. I told him I wouldn't look at it until you read it. But
all right, well, I'll read Vinny's first. On a scale from 1 to 100, how difficult is it to constantly have to say to your fan base, "Thank you. Sex totally sounds like the best way to convince me that you love the band, but how about you just pay my bar tab instead?"
23.
23.
Difficult. 1, I'd rather the bar tab. Thank you.
That's what I think. That's
the bar tab. The bar tab.
Vinny's saying how hard
outrageous. Yeah, outrageous. Yeah.
And then a second question from Ben Bush, and we almost kind of got to it before, but his question was, what song or songs are your least favorite to play?
Oh, I have plenty. I guess we'd have to say, what's your least favorite song to play that we're still currently playing? Because obviously we've taken out a lot of songs that we don't want to play. Yeah. But I would say it might be Wagon Wheel.
Okay.
Oh, Wagon Wheel. Yeah.
but it still works, unfortunately. So it's just some situations you just got to keep doing it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel. That to me was like a good song for a day.
No, yeah, exactly. It was. It just got so beat down. That's the only problem that I really. It's very it's not interesting to play. It's not like a difficult you're not on your toes to play it, and that is a song that you just feel like you're going through the motions to get through it, and that's probably one of my least.
Yeah.
We just started playing I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and I
love that song.
Can you hit that note? Can you hit that?
I have a higher voice, so it's not
Nice.
it's not too bad for me. I have more trouble with the lower stuff because I just have this high voice. But I love playing that song. I've always wanted to play.
I hate it.
It's because you got me screaming in your ears.
And we also play at certain venues depending on. So we do a lot of things that maybe people don't realize we do, but like the first set at a fair or like even the V spot when people aren't ready to party is usually like a little more chill, right? We don't really blow our wad in the first set. But these guys think it's a great idea to play Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And
I love that song.
I just think that's garbage, waste of time. John gets to play 19 guitar solos. Great. So like the two uncles who play guitar out in the crowd get to, melt over it. But,
John and I love it, and Will and Kester hate it. So the rhythm section is frowning the entire time, but we're just smiling ear to ear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then the only other one, I don't. That's probably all that I really can't stand. I would say because he knocked off a lot of the ones that like I don't want to call them crap songs because they'll probably come back after a while. But like a lot of the ones that we've been playing for so long that even if you like playing it, you hate it because you make sure you play it every single show. A lot of those are gone right now. I'm not going to say what they are because then people will start requesting them. But. Yeah, he knocked off a lot of those. So,
gotcha.
Rick handles that part of the band. Like what songs we're gonna play, Rick handles that part of it. So, like, and I used to care about that. Pre leaving and coming back. It used to. I don't know why it would just drive me crazy. And but then coming back, actually, my favorite thing to do is not look at the set list until it's time to play. So it's like a surprise, even though it's gonna be probably the same songs mostly. It's still a surprise of when they're coming. If we could stop playing Everybody Wants to Rule the World, I would like to take a poll on our Facebook to see how many people want us to stop playing that. I think probably just about everybody.
Everybody loves that song. Slaps. That song slaps.
This song does not. Oh, that's Ryan Williams. That's his quote. It slaps. So.
All right. And then on the opposite side of that, what's your favorite song to play?
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
I like the ones that like are a little like ones for I'm an emo kid, believe it or not. But
you and Caviston, Jesus Christ.
No, Caviston wouldn't know emo if it slapped him upside the head. So
that's good.
Yeah, but I would say like we play Only One, and I love I love playing that song, and we only do it at certain venues and stuff. But Only One is like that's like when we hit that kind of stuff, and then we just started playing I Write Sins Not Tragedies again, or maybe again.
No, we never did, but I love
that's that.
I love
fun too. Yeah, but stuff like that I love.
That's all my favorite stuff too. And
then the stuff for this new show like is super fun. Like he mentioned Dua Lipa before, like that kind of hip hoppy drumming. Like we have a whole hip hop section. That's my favorite kind of drumming. So when we get to that stuff, it's super exciting too. So.
That's very cool. And Kester, I just busted on you and Caviston, and you said Carnival before. I'll give you an opportunity to talk about what is this? NEPA Carnival you're doing, or NEPA Fair?
The Carnival
NEPA Fair.
Well, Nowhere Slow is going to be at this, so yes, I don't want to make this a whole thing, because I just did a podcast with Caviston about this, and eventually.
Yeah, but this is going to reach more people. So.
No. Eventually.
I'm kidding.
Eventually, though, I'm gonna I would hope you'd have Joe and I on to talk about it. So that would be
Jesus Christ.
So just, but a little bit later down the road, I'm sure you can't have that many people you want to talk to. So
he's got the Ferrari guy coming on for
the Ferrari is coming on. But the NEPA fair is going to be at Circle Drive-In on September 15th through the 18th. It's going to be all your favorite bands from the area. Yes, we have $10 admission. You get free rides with that. There's going to be food. There's going to be beer tent by the V Spot, sponsor of yours. They're going to do a big beer tent. We're going to have a flea market, bingo, all the fun stuff for the family. But we're also going to have a monster concert stage with just a look like the stage. Since I'm from, it's a family festival with the beer tent, like something for everybody. But since I'm from the music, that's where I'm from. And, Johnny Popko is going to MC the whole event, and we're going to have it on a big SL250 stage, which maybe doesn't make sense to you, but it's a 32 by 24 stage that we put national acts on all the time. Monster lighting rig, line array, all the stuff you would see at an actual concert you would go to, but it's going to be all your favorite bands from the area playing. So most of these bands probably never had a chance to play on something like this, and I hope that just makes it more fun and exciting for everybody. Nowhere Slow will be there on the Friday night as the last band. So yeah, it's going to be super fun. We have a lot of other surprises that I don't want to give away yet confirmed, but that's the big.
We'll save those for a different day.
And Rick Gillette has this is why he has to have a $5,000 computer, because all of the media for it, I've bugged him 3,000 times, and he created all of the logos, the posters, everything you've seen. Rick did for me. I don't know if you wanted me to tell anybody that, but I'm very appreciative that he did all that. So he did an amazing job on it too. So all the Facebooks, everything that was the website, Rick made all that stuff. So,
Now, Rick, are you behind the new Facebook for Nowhere Slow? I think that's the picture, the black and white picture with the NS.
Yep. Yeah, I did all that. Yep.
It looks sharp.
Yeah. Jesse Fotz took the photo. I just, we've used that photo for a few years now. But as I wanted to create a new logo for us, I made the logo and liked it, and then just kind of deleted the background from the photo that he took and just put, intertwined the NS inside there type thing. But because our logo was getting a little bit, I liked our logo, but it kind of made us look like a death metal band or something. And I thought it was time for an update. So
that's because Vinny said we're happy, fun people, but in your photos, you look sad and depressed and mad. Yeah. So yeah, he Vinny Archer, I don't know how to describe this in any other way than he is the quintessential coach of every band in this area. If you play his bar, he's going to give you his opinion on you, and for the most part, he's right though. Yeah. So Rick took some of that. But I wanted to know one thing though: the fact that you talk about how you can sustain this for so long. You got to kind of get into your group, and everybody has to do a little more than just play. You know what I mean? Sometimes. And Rick, nothing against anyone that does photos or does, multimedia or websites or anything like that. Rick was able to learn all that and do it on his own. And not like we couldn't sometimes outsource some of that and haven't. Like you said, Jesse took the photo. But to do it long term, it really helps when you can, do your own promotion, do your own website, do your own Facebook, do your own graphics, at least for the most part, because then it helps you to be able to afford to promote your band in times where maybe you aren't making the money to do so. You know what I mean? So that's just my tip, Rick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I learned it. And it was when we were younger, we had no money. And I remember trying to figure out how to do, got a bootleg copy of Photoshop and taught myself because you couldn't afford anything like that. Couldn't afford a graphic designer. And so through the years, it just happened
bootleg, but it was a legit copy, he meant to say.
Yes. I didn't.
Right, of course. No, but you're right, though. And a lot of bands these days, we're all probably not we, because, we're an older demo. But, Rick, obviously, you figured it out. But bands these days, they have every a member at least that knows Photoshop or knows how to do video or knows name it. It's and it's such a mini business within the band.
Yep,
that they can really utilize. They're not just musicians anymore. They're also promoters and marketers and social media.
The tools
Connoisseurs
to learn now are so much better. Like you don't want to do something, you go on YouTube. Like when I started, I just had to play with it for hours on end to figure out what the heck did what. Like it's so much easier for people to learn things now, which is so great. Like just YouTube it. I mean, it's all there. This is a tutorial on everything. It's crazy.
Yep. It's wild.
Yep.
Well, what's in store for Nowhere Slow for the remainder of the year? Everything big coming up in the future?
We have everything's on our website, nowhereslow.com. We have a few, we have secret dates throughout the summer, and we have V-Spot dates throughout the summer. Our only really local public shows are going to be the V-Spot and our friends at Drafts Bar up in Hamlin area, which, well, I think they consider that Lake area, but whatever. It's like Hamlin. It's a great bar up there that our friends owned, and it's just a really nice, like, big, beautiful new bar. So yeah,
did that place burn down?
It did. Oddly enough, it was our friends of ours bought it from this retired firefighter who called it Backdraft, and then ironically it burnt down, and so they kind of switched the whole motif of the place and just called it Drafts. So there was still some remembrance of of what it was, but now it's more focused on like an entertainment type complex.
It's a nice place, and they have really good White Claw there. Like really
the White Claw 70. No, I used to
no 70s.
No, when I go camping, I'll go camping once a year, and by camping I mean I'll go into like a campsite, and we'll sometimes I sleep in my car, but we just drink beer and hang out, and then I go home the next day. But I would always pass Backdrafts when I was going there.
Oh, so up the lake you're going?
Yeah,
I gotcha. But yeah, so locally, those are really our only public shows. Where, like I said, we have that residency at Woodlock. That's every single week, and we have a bunch of weddings this year, and a lot of, like, we're playing the NEPA Fair, obviously, and things like that, a little spread out stuff. But we have a full schedule. It's just a lot of it's not all of it's public shows, but
yeah. Cool. Well, I admire you guys for pushing on over all these years and continuing to do it, and it's cool. Like I said, I was in the scene the same time you guys started, so I feel like I started.
We all grew up together.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So before we wrap this up,
all right, what's up?
So one time, and maybe we were just naive kids and all this stuff, but we thought for many years that John Popko just had a thing against Nowhere Slow. We were pretty sure that he was the deciding votes in the Mohegan Sun Battle of the Bands against us. And we wanted to confirm that you did give us tens.
I don't remember this.
The year that you won.
Was I a judge that year?
Yes, you were. For all the years, it just hurt our feelings for a very long time.
I was unaware of this. I think it hurt Matt's
fourth place, and we were just hurt for all these years. We talked about it. But it fueled the band to win the next year. I was not in the band at that time. I did leave. Maybe it was just the drumming was just so piss poor the year. We got fourth place, and then Tommy came in and killed it, and that's what the deciding factor was. But I always said that it was John Popko who gave us the bad scores. So on record, I would like to address this.
Well, on record, I only remember judging once, and I don't even know if it was the finals. So
pretty sure
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, so no answer. This is no answer. All right.
Here's what I'm going to say to you, Matt. Is if I did, keep you from advancing, it was for your own good. I needed you to know that you can be better. And not every kid gets a trophy. You need to earn it. I need you to go back to the lab, do some work and come back stronger. And you know what? This is a teaching moment for you. This is a learning moment for you, teaching moment for me.
Now,
you just really need to,
what I'm talking about was at least 10 years ago, right? Is it at least 10 years ago?
God,
and I don't even think, I think I just made all this up because I don't even think it was a real thing. But yeah, you're right. You're very right.
What I do remember though is I feel like there almost being a riot one year I remember I had no involvement in it. I was actually there, and I feel like Mr. Echo was in it or part of it, and I forget who won instead, but I feel like there was almost a riot when the band that should have won, maybe it wasn't even them, I forget, but there was almost a riot when the band that they thought should have won didn't win, and it was a big fiasco.
The year Mr. Echo was in it, I think, yeah, it was like them, like that was the second year of that thing, I think, because that was when that out of town band won, and that's probably what caused the riot or something. I forget what their name of that band was.
Bring back the Battle of the Bands. #.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No,
I mean,
it's horrendous.
It really, so here's the thing about those real quick. I mean, I've judged a few of them in my time over the years, and I just think it's kind of silly.
How
like
do you judge music.
Oh, it's
I mean, like, and especially like, and if you want to judge, I mean, I shouldn't be a judge. I know what I think I know what sounds good and what sounds appealing universally, but like, I'm not going to sit there and judge you on how you play a guitar or how you play drums and shit like that. Like, I'll never pick that up. Like, so if you're, I mean, what are you judging on, really?
Yeah, it's a very bizarre thing to do. Any Battle of Bands, I always thought that it was bizarre.
And like the type of people they would get to judge. This was supposed to be just a joke segment here. We don't have to go into the whole details of how Battle of the Bands work. It was just I was just goofing around.
I know. It is. I think they're cool in a way, but I mean, there's one that's going on now. They just launched their second season, and I think the prize at the end is kind of neat, but it's just weird. I mean, I don't ever want to be a judge for that again.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them. I think that they should all go away at this point. There should be no, like, a showcase. Sure, right. Showcase is for sure the way to go. But to put somebody's art against somebody else's art for a prize, I mean, and then the people that really believe in their art, there's no way you're not going to cause either hurt feelings or some sort of like it just, to me, the whole thing, it's not a positive thing.
No, it's not. And that's exactly what I agree with that. I think, especially back in the day when you guys might be able to confirm this, but I feel like back then a lot of bands it was very cutthroat. It was like, we want these shows, like, that band doesn't deserve it. It might be like, oh, well, they're a cover band, we're original band, we're this, we're that. There's this like a very, like, a lot of animosity almost amongst the scene. And I think now in today's world, it's more of a community and
it's a great scene.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to the drummer from Mesh. Do you remember Mesh?
That band caused so many fucking problems, dude. That band caused.
What do you mean that band? The whole thing was ridiculous.
That fucking band caused Panacea to spray paint their logo on the cover of the Weekender because they were so pissed off.
He tore it up and threw it into the crowd.
Yes. Yeah. Because
they were right. He was right, though.
Well, I mean, but it wasn't done maliciously. It was just a complete oversight. It was not like, oh, we're going to leave or we're going to put everyone on there except
no. But what he did, no. What I understand what you're saying. The Weekender didn't do anything wrong, but I'm just saying what he did was like rock and roll, man. Yeah. Like you can't even get mad at him. It's like who would even thought to like spray paint their logo on and then rip it and throw it in a crowd? I mean, that was
the fact that I was part of something that mattered that much to people, that's cool.
And we couldn't even, the band, like, the idea of this thing was crazy. The only reason that I was in it at all or even tried out for it was because Joe Loftus was, Joe Loftus, right? From
Joe's name, yep.
So Joe was a close friend of mine, and he was influenced to try out for the guitar part, and he won it, not even like thinking he was going to win it. It was just like, because it was at local bars. And then he said, I won this thing. You got to come try out. And I was like, it was before I was in Nowhere Slow, actually. And I was like, all right, man, I'll go try out. So I went to Tanks. There was like 30 drummers show up, and they just had this crappy drum kit, and they go play a solo. And I'm just like, okay. And then next thing you know, I'm drumming in this band of like, and like, I can't even tell you, like, it was just like, none of us can get along. We couldn't get along. They gave us a list of songs to learn. People didn't want to do those songs. So it was just like, they put a band together and gave barely any direction. And they're just like, here, go be a band now. We're like, you got some guys in here that don't even play in bands, right now. And it was just, and we had a time, it was like, get songs together. We get songs together, and then they put us on a stage. And then I think that, so I never really addressed this, but like Steve Elshman was involved in it, right? And
yeah, we'll blame Steve Eshelman.
No, Eshelman, sorry, I said his name wrong. But he's a super nice guy.
He's the best.
And I think he hated me for years because I didn't have a problem with everything that was going on, but they elected me to go tell him that we weren't going to do it anymore. So then I had to go break the bad news to him. And I think he took it as it was me, saying, I don't want to do it. But it was like, we couldn't, the one dude didn't even have a car and he lived 45 minutes away from all of us. So we'd have to go pick him up. And he didn't have a guitar either. We'd have to
yeah, I guess logistics didn't really work out that way. Yeah. That's funny.
That's a podcast you need to get on. You need to get on Mike Nasser, Kenny Norton, Joe Loftus, and we got to figure out who this lost guy was that nobody knew his name or anything. We got to get that and bring Meth back together.
Yo, that would be the best. The band that never was.
We'll take him in my warehouse and we'll have
behind the music.
Perform.
Yes, yes, Mesh, the band that never was. Oh, that's actually brilliant. This. Well, yeah, we'll get Justin involved. We'll do a whole thing.
Yeah, we'll do a whole thing, and then we won't learn these songs, and we'll just find out whatever the 7 songs were that we played on that day when Panacea ripped up the Weekender and threw it, and we'll just see if we can play them. We'll see what happens.
I love it. Well, let's end it on that. That's great.
And AP, we're on to you before we end.
Yes. The mole in the scene. We're going to find you.
Yep, we'll get you.
We're going to hang you.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't say that. That could get me in trouble.
We'll hang your picture on the wall.
We're going to hang up the phone on you.
We're going to hang up a picture of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, obviously, for doing this. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I've been a big fan for all these years, and I'm glad to I've never really been able to hang out with you guys, at length. So this is what we do.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
This is the internet. Here we are. I see Kester every now and then. We've done a podcast with him and Vinny and
oh, buddy.
For a different day.
So I have some backstage videos from that day. Behind the scenes videos, and sometimes when I'm scrolling through my phone to look for a different video, those videos will pop up, and I just can't. There's that feels like a dream, that whole day. And then the part you don't know is that we went back to the V spot after.
I heard, yeah.
You heard what happened? After Frank and I ate some wings on the corner of the bar, just hanging out. Vinny got drunk. I had to take him home. And then I guess he got home so late he wasn't answering his phone. His wife was so mad she locked all the doors. He couldn't get in the house, and he had to sleep in the pool chair next to a pool. So, yeah.
That's the day that I saw the back of Vinny's ball sack.
Well, I saw inside his butthole too.
Yeah, that man's ball sack that's like truck nuts. That fucking thing.
Yeah.
Those nuts that hang in the back of pickup trucks. For those of you who don't know, that's Vinny's ball sack.
Yeah, if anybody ever watched the podcast and they're wondering what we're dying laughing at off camera, it's Vinny's ball sack. So, yeah.
Well, great times. I hope there's many more great times to come. And Kester will set that up with you and Cavston. Then we'll call it the. I don't know. He had a podcast called "Let's Cry About It" or whatever.
Yeah. We'll have a really sad. We'll set up. You know what? We'll bring in Hirsch and we'll have him play like sad emo songs in the background, and then we'll just talk about things going on in their lives.
Can you guys put Visine in your eyes and?
We'll do like eyeliner and mascara and all that kind of stuff.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. I'll dress the part that day.
Perfect. So. Can't wait. All right, guys. Thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you, buddy. Bye.